Hi guys, good morning. Welcome to the Retro Nerd Girls morning modern take mornings. I hope that you're doing well and that you're happy and then that we can talk about the Mandalorian season 3 episode 7. I have to say that this episode was actually pretty awesome. No complaints. They actually over delivered this morning. I am so happy to talk about it. But let's find out who is here first. I see that Keith E is here. Hello, Keith E. First up this morning. I better change my glasses because um, I think I need a stronger pair for this close up. I have different glasses for different things. Um, oh my goodness. Yes, that's much better. I can see the small print in the the writing here. Keith E says that I was out in the lobby, not much going on. Hit the thumbs up button and had some snacks. You're so sweet. Nerd girl swag being sold and everything looks good. And hit the thumbs up and locked and loaded, ready to go. Awesome. Yes. Okay. So that is so incredible because, guys, I just got something in the mail. This is what it came. This is the box it came in. So it was nice and protected. But I just got this from the store, which is really awesome. A retro nerd girl cup. Let's see if I can get it without any shine so you can see it good. Let's see if I can get it really good. There it is. Isn't it awesome, guys? That is just so cute. And actually, I could make it a little bit bigger. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger, but I do love it, and it's so exciting to have it. So yes, there's merch. This is the first time I'm actually seeing it this morning on the channel. So I'm really surprised that they're doing it because they never really did it before, but they decided to do it now. So I'll take it. Thank you for noticing and mentioning it. And Keithy also says, well, Siri kind of messed that up, but I think you get the gist of what I was saying. Oh, absolutely. I think I understood you perfectly. And look, Daryl Johnston is here. Good morning. I'm so glad that you're here. Very happy to see that you're in good spirits too. My goodness. Then let's see what else. Oh, Daryl is saying that we need to hit that like button on your way in, please. That would be great. Thank you for saying that and mentioning that. That is pretty awesome. I will, in your honor, I will play the little, uh, the little stinger I have for that. Thank you. Yes, smash that like button, guys. That helps me to upgrade. And really interesting things like my merch actually showing on my page actually occurs. I must have upgraded somehow or leveled up in YouTube. And I do love leveling up. Uh, and let's see who else is here. Hungry Jerk is here. Hey, 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 what's happening? Oh my goodness. Thank you for being here. Oh my goodness. All the good mornings. I just love it. Yes, good morning. It's really great. This morning I got actually, to be honest with you, I hate to say this, but I did not sleep at all last night. And I'm just like, I have so much energy. I don't know where it's coming from, but I tried to go to sleep. It wouldn't happen, guys. So I pulled an all-nighter. And oh, Daryl, you didn't watch The Mandalorian? It's okay. I mean, I would say you wouldn't. It's hard to watch it this season, but I understand if a lot of people didn't. And look who's here, Mark D. Mark D with a C. Hello, Mark D with a C. Thank you for being here. So awesome to see you this morning. um, and Mark D with a C says, "Nice. Oh yes, it's really awesome. I can't believe it. I have my own mug with look at that. She's so cute. Look at that. Just really awesome. I love getting things like that. I was actually gonna do an unboxing video, but I was too excited. I did, I was like, I need to see what's in this box now. You ever get like that? Like you see, you order something and then you're like, you need to see it now. I might go like, like, merch crazy and just invent all kinds of different products, with the mugs. Daryl says, perfect mug. It is a perfect mug. It is a perfect mug. Like it's the perfect size too, you know? It fits a lot. It fits a lot in there. And Hungry Jerk says, gonna borrow the first, second seasons of Mandalorian from a friend to catch up. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's there's a lot. There's a lot to catch up on, but I will say the first season is the very, very best. It is the very best. Everything else is okay. I mean, I know some people who love, love, love the second season. Um, and after that, you may have to watch a few episodes of the Boba Fett series as well. It wasn't highly acclaimed, but it was definitely a series that had a lot of the Mandalorian story woven inside, which was a surprise and a bit of a disappointment as well. And Mark D with a C says, now you just need R&G branded coffee. Ooh, how do I get that? How do I get these things? I want Astro coffee. That's what I want. Astro coffee. That's what I have right now. Some Astro coffee in my little mug. Oh my God, I'm so happy. Um, it's just a wonderful little treat. I mean, life can be really tough, and it's nice to have those little moments where you're excited about things. Oh, and oh wait, whoa, whoa, whoa! I'm just about to miss. Donald Ramon is here. Hello there. Nice to see you. Mandalorian speak with no coffee yet. Perfect start. To the day. Yes, yes. Yeah, definitely. This is the way. This is the way. And Hungry Jerk says, is this Disney produced? Yeah, it's on Disney Plus. It's on Disney Plus. Um, it's a pretty good show. I mean, the first, like I said, this first season was so remarkable. I just remember watching it and just going like, "What is this? I can't believe this is a really pretty cool show." It reminded me of Flash Gordon. Reminded me of the first movie. Just had that energy, you know, or Tang. Oh, LOL. Yes, put some Tang in there into that cup. Um, and Keith EC says we're missing the unicorn. Oh no, are we? Well, hopefully he'll unicorn will join us later on. Um, unicorn, if you're watching, we love you. Mwah. Might catch us on the replay. And as so far, Kathleen Kennedy is not involved. Uh, oh, really? Because I heard that she might be involved in some of the, planning for this, for all of this. But when there, I'm not on the inside, so I don't know. So okay. Oh, look who just walked in the door. El Necron. Hello, El Necron. Great to see you. Good morning, Retro. Thank you for being here. Yes. I wonder if did you get to see the Mandalorian show, guys? Do you all know what I am talking about? um, I'll tell you this. If I can give a general idea of what the show was today, um, based on some of the other episodes. I would think that this is more than a perfect episode because it did what it was, what I expected. Um, that a good show should do, and it surprised me. So that's also it's like, oh, there's bonus, right? So I gave it a 10 because and I could not find anything wrong with it. It answered a lot of questions I had and left me with a few theories to toggle back and forth. It wasn't frustrating theories. It was good, like good theories that I'm like, okay, my mind is churning with interesting thoughts, not ones of frustration like it was last week. So that's a total turnaround. And what a lot of people are saying that this is typical that these writers will sometimes write a lot of filler, and then the last two episodes are outstanding, and it has been that way for a lot of shows for Disney Plus. And El Necron says literally just finished it. Yes, we can talk about it. Oh, it's so good to be able to talk about it. Okay. And the Daily Dan blog is here. Internet is in and out today. Cannot keep connected. Oh, well, thank you for stopping in and letting us know. Hopefully you'll be able to catch the full contents of it at some point. But we're so glad that you're here. Hopefully you can hear us okay and see us okay. Um, all right, so uh, and so that would be my general concept of it, and it's really interesting to think of last week's episode compared to this week's episode. I was actually dreading talking to talk about it in the beginning because I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be talking negatively about about something, and I really didn't want to. I really wanted to talk positively about it, and it kind of was depressing in a way. But once I had to talk about it because it was bothering me so much. But this episode is definitely back to back to form. It was well done. Lots of as I said before, surprises, information. I was able to, let me see how many pages of notes I had. One, two, three, four. 4 pages of notes, guys. Um, there is a strong link to the sequels. Okay, so I know for a lot of people they were hoping that the sequels were going to be um admonished or ignored by and the new regime, well, the regime at Disney, that they would just walk around or dance around everything but the sequels. Well, unfortunately, the sequels are very much canon and are a part of the storytelling at this part, just like the prequels are. So it's very interesting how they can get um, uh, things like the prequels and the sequels and weave them together to make a better story, to make them make sense almost. So they're making sense of the sequel. Some people are against that idea because they just hate the sequels so much. But for me, I didn't hold the sequels up that high on a pedestal. So, any news that actually makes the sequels look good, I'm okay with it. I'm out for the story. I'm interested in the story that's being told, and not so much like, you know, if we're gonna keep something hidden or not, like midi-chlorians. And the people like go crazy about the midi-chlorians, but I feel like sometimes the midi-chlorians are if you can tell a good story about the midi-chlorians and why they matter, I think that would be good. I mean, I really wanted to know more. I still want to know more about the midi-chlorians, to be honest. So what were they talking about with the midi-chlorians? And I do know some of the lore behind that, but it's one of those things like people didn't decided that they didn't like it, so uh it wasn't explored very much, and I think it should be explored. And Hungry Jerk says Star Wars and Saturday Night Fever came out in 1977. I wanted to be the first disc. I wanted to be the first disco dancing Jedi Knight. Wow, that is really cool. Yeah, 1977. They both came out the same year. and Logan's Run came out the year before. I think it's fascinating and just like love it, love it, love it. And Woodrow says prediction. It's Lady Katana. It's the Lady Katana show now. Battle Mac Gurgu will be piloting his dad's armor. You know, that's actually, I know you're making a joke, but that sounds kind of cool. It actually kind of sounds a little cool. It's um I hated the midichlorians at first, but I respect that Lucas was taking the force away from fantasy to be more sci-fi based. Yeah, I think it is like ex everything what you've just said is like how artists are how they develop the story. I think the way it was thrown in the first time, um a Phantom Menace was a little bit like, what? Are we going to get more about this? And we didn't hear anything else about it. And so that was the big problem with the midichlorians. It just he throws it in there, and then we didn't hear anything about it. And so it would be like what you're saying about this sci-fi based um idea, and it's something to do with the wills, and I want to know more about that fascinating piece to the story, and I hope at some place and sometime we do get more. And look who walked through the door, the Bat Channel Retro. Hi, how are you this morning? I hope you're doing well. Are you at work right now? Shh. I hope you're doing well. I am. Oh, and I hope. Did you see the episode yet? If you didn't, I'll let you know when we're gonna get into spoilers. That's gonna be a fun talk. Um, uh, and Mark D with a C says, I could use some more midichlorians in my coffee today. Okay, your jokes are hilarious. Yes, thank you. I needed that. Yeah, I need some midichlorians in my coffee to keep me going this morning. Because I am delirious. Didn't I? For any of you guys who are getting here, I haven't slept in more than 24 hours, so I don't even know how I'm still going. I just was so amped up. Tuesdays are really tough for me because I get really amped up, especially with this show um, being at 1 a.m. my time. And so I watch it, and then afterwards, after I watch it, I'm like, oh, what did I just see? Either happy or not happy. Like it's just so much information in my head. So yeah. Uh, um, and the Vat channel says, I like the midichlorians idea. It makes complete sense that the Jedi, at the peak of their power, would try to make sense and have control over the Force and the science of it. Yes. I think to me, once you said, once I heard about, the blood having some sort of midichlorians or some sort of substance in it. I was like, oh yeah, well just grab a whole bunch of Jedi and siphon off their blood, and everybody can be Jedi. But I'm not even sure how that works, and I do wish we'd get more information on that and how easy it is to do that and how hard it is to do that as well. Um, let's see. Oh, and the Bat Channel says, I can't stay long. Some craziness going at work, sadly. Okay, well, I understand. I understand. Thanks. Stay as long as you can, and I'll let you know when the spoilers are coming. Um, and I hope things get better for you at work. Um, yeah, and so it was a much better episode. I'm actually giving it a 10. I was trying to contemplate what kind of score could I give it. I was thinking about like somewhere in the nines, 9.7. And I was like, really, what was wrong with this episode? Nothing. There was nothing wrong with this episode. And it was like it overdeveloped delivered, as I said. There was really not one thing that I would say was wrong. And if there was any filler, I did not see it. Um, and the every other episode before, I'm just looking at the rest of the season and just saying, wow, how many areas things could have been removed, and I would love to have had other things added in, like more conversations with Din and Bo-Katan, developing their relationship as friends. We didn't get that, but I do love that development in that kind of happened. We're starting to get the beginning of something here. And so it's just um like I wish we could have just gotten like it's like having like a salad, like it's like all the ingredients are all mixed up, and I really would love it to be less like a salad and more like um a row of cookies on a tray. You know what I mean? All, well, all the good stuff all in one organized package is what I'm saying. Okay, so guys, let's see, and uh Hungry Jerk says, I can't stay long too. Gotta shower and go to work. Okay. Oh my gosh. All right. Well, you have a great day at work. We send you lots of love and hope to see you again real soon. And let's see. Unicorn Rabbit Studio is here. Yes. Well, yes, I was physically incapable of being here at the start. Well, that's fine. We're just happy we're able to make it at all. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, let's see. And Hungry Jerk says he's I got a few minutes. Okay, we got a few minutes. So let me also I am still learning. I was supposed to put that up to say that that's what I was doing. So I'm going to dive into the spoilers. Unless you guys have something else that you wanted to say, I'm about to get into the juicy spoilers. Um, it's juicy. It's juicy, guys. It's juicy. So if you're already ready to see, if you're gonna see it, you can jump off. But I'm about to spoil the heck out of this. Here we go. All right, guys. And for everybody who left, I love you guys. Come back and see the rest once you've seen the uh the the episode. All right, so let's see. Okay. And so, Grogu in this episode, wow, um, is just incredible. Okay, well, why don't I start off sort of like telling you from the beginning? So, in the beginning of the story, it opens on Coruscant in a back alley. Secretly, um, there are um, uh, is Alaya Kane, who is secretly working for the Imperial forces, pretending to be now a reformed rebel or a reformed um, Republic officer or whatever she's doing. She comes into this alleyway, and a droid shows up. I don't know, former Imperial droids hang out in the alleyways on Coruscant. It's Star Wars. So this is really interesting. So it opens with this really cool, groovy, like nightclub music from like 2000, from the year 2000 or 2001 or something. And it's really, really good. I was like, it's really getting into it, but it's really interesting. And then she tells the droid a code, and then suddenly we see a picture or a hologram of Moff Gideon. Finally, we get Moff Gideon in this thing. So I'm really so excited to see him, and he is being over the top evil as usual. I just love bad that bad guy that is just bad. And I think we get a lot of his motivation in this episode, which is great. First, it seems like he's just arrogantly, cocky and doing all sorts of, like, he's just, being evil for the sake of being evil. But he has a great motivation because he wants to build an army, and also he wants to be in control. He wants to be, I hate to say this because everybody's saying this, he wants to be the top dog, and the heir to the empire, if you will. So he's even willing to go against Thrawn for this, not directly, but he's like, while we're waiting for Thrawn, I can just step in and take over for a little while, maybe permanently. So I love that. I love that he's working on something. Man, this would have been great to see in like episode 2 or 4, where we could have like felt like, okay, the bad guy is here in the story, and he's working his way into the story. But we get it in this episode. um he's talking to a group of other former imperial officers in through holograms, and it is called the um Shadow Council. Really simple. The Shadow Council. And there of the Shadow Council is um, Hux's, from the sequel, Hux, his father, who's actually being played by his brother in real life. The actor's brother in real life. So the two actors are brothers, and he's playing. The brother is playing um, Hux's father, who's working on a project Necromancer. So, we can start our minds to think Project Necromancer might be dealing with the dead. It may be dealing, they're also talking about cloning. And so it could be that project to bring back Palpatine, that was exactly successful uh, somewhere along the line. It became successful, right? And so that is the thing that is going on there. That was like so much information. That's definitely setting up for something in the future. Um, but it's also giving us a lot of um, uh, motivation for why there's animosity within the ranks of the imperial remnants. Okay, now another thing they mention, which is so juicy, is that they have been able to pull off different, what did they call it exactly? um, they were able to high they're able to go to hyperspace lanes pretending to be warlords and stealing people's property, holding people up and saying give me your stuff or die, basically robberies, taking people's property and adding it onto their assets. And so they also have the pirate nation, which they're probably working working together with to do this. And so um, it also says that that pirate attack on Navarro was Moff Gideon's doing. So there was a lot of information we got. I was like, oh, okay, now the threads are starting to weave together and actually make sense. And that is clever. It's like it's clever writing at this point. I can't say some of the stuff in previously was clever, but this is definitely very clever how they were able to piece those parts together. um and one of the things, okay, now, and this is all like, again, totally, totally on, needed and necessary. Moff Gideon asked for 3 Praetorian guards, and those are those guys that are dressed in red. And they show up in the sequels, and I believe they were in I believe they were in the original movies as well. I'm not sure exactly which one, whether it was, I think it was Return of the Jedi. Uh, but yeah, they were all dressed in red, and they're supposed to be the most elite guards. Their armor can penetrate. Their armor's impenetrable, and their weapons can penetrate the toughest armor, and they can also, um, they could go up against a Jedi and and possibly win. So it's very it was very interesting that those are the elite guys, and Moff Gideon wants those guys to be his protectors, um, and because he thinks he's going to need them. And they ask him why, and he says, because the Mandalorians are going to take over Mandalore. And they're like, yeah, take what you need. It's really interesting that these guys know about the Mandalorians, and they're like, they're a threat now. They're ready to, like, okay, take what you need to deal with these guys once and for all. So the idea is that they're going to get rid of all of the Mandalorians who are now set upon the task of taking over Mandalore, and they're gonna destroy them all in one swoop, which is kind of breaks your heart a little bit. The tension is up. It makes you kind of worried, like, oh my God, are they gonna succeed? Are they gonna kill all the Mandalorians? It really raises the stakes in the story immediately. And I'm just I just can't believe that they're finally, they're doing it. They're doing it. They're making the story really good. Oh look, let's see. Let's see. Hungry Jerk says, I'll watch the replay. Thanks, RNG and guys. Oh yes, yes. Okay, if whenever you get a chance to. And William Blake Hall says, just quickly popping in to say Jason Momoa. I forget if he made it to into Action Stars. I've seen him around since Baywatch Hawaii. Oh, hmm. Did I add him in on the list? I think I didn't add him in because he's more newer to the scene than the older one. But I'm gonna look at his um his his work and see if there's if it is if he does fit the category, um, if he's done anything before 2005, not on television but in movies. So we'll look into that. Thank you for adding, because if he because I don't remember him being in the early. He's more newer to movie action movies than I think. Um, and Daryl Johnson says, "Have a good day, Tom. Don't work too hard." Um, I guess Tom must be hungry jerk. So, well, yeah, have a great day, Tom. Okay, so yeah, it's just one of those things where I was really just loving everything. Now, there was a moment in this where the energy shifted to be more comedic, and I didn't hate it because it actually worked. Well, in the beginning of the series, there was this whole thing, the first episode about IG-11. It was a robot that sacrificed its life to save Din Djarin, the entire town of Navarro, and Grogu. And the thing about this droid is that this was the first droid that Din Djarin liked, and he said this droid was my friend. I mean that's pretty serious coming from from, from Din Djarin. And so he's so sweet. Um, you know, when it comes to like little moments like that. Anyway, um, the mayor, or sorry, the magistrate, Grief Karga, put together a little something for Din Djarin. He gave him some wine, and he said, "I have another gift for you." And in walks IG-11, or what we think is IG-11, being controlled by one of those little tiny um, I forgot the name of those Angelans, I think they're called. Those little mechanics. And so I think they're no Ninjalans. Um, and it's so that way Grogu can sit inside of the chassis and operate this robot. And it's just so really cute. They put him in it. And Dinjara's like, no, we can't have him in there. He's too young to do this. And the thing is that this robot has um, um, the ability to say a few words, and it can only say yes or no. At first, I thought it was going to be able to like completely like translate like full sentences, but right now, all it can say is yes or no. And so Grogu, uh, Grogu is so adorable. He gets in there and he's like, he loves it in there. He loves it in there. And and Djarin's like, no, he's too young. And Grogu's like, no. And he's like, "What do you mean, no?" He's like, "No." And then Grief Karga is like, "I think he's saying he's not too young." And he goes, "Yes." So I was like, "Oh." So earlier, when the season first started, the showrunners said that Grogu was going to speak, and I think this is what they're referring to. Uh, at first, I thought that he was actually going to vocalize, uh, but right now all he can do is say "Goo goo gaga," which is so hilarious and adorable, but it's not actual words. It's just the most adorable thing ever. We got some new people in here. Oh, One second. We got no, 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 LOL. Yes, he's so funny, isn't he? And William Blake Hall says Grogu Baggins. Oh my, yes, he's just so adorable. He's so adorable. And Movie Madness Entertainment. Great to join us this morning. Hello. Morning, everyone. Bo has Grogu in her lap when they fly. She is the new main character. Ooh, that's a good assessment. That's a good assessment. Because that is exactly what is happening in the show. They're changing the guard, and Bo is becoming the brand new, the brand new Mandalorian, and Din is going to back her up 100%. I love that he's going to be by her side, so he's still going to be part of the story. I hope after this episode, we're not sure. But yes, thanks for joining us this morning. And El Nikron says, "Hey Max," um, and I'm guessing that is to Movie Madness Entertainment. So, I well, hello Max. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm just enjoying that. The Praetorian Guards, though, were amazing. They were so much fun. Um, well, they're deadly fun, if you will. Um, and William Blake Hall says, RNG, have you ever seen bad lip reading Star Wars videos? Some are seriously cool. I don't know. I don't know if I have. I'm not sure. I'm sure I may have seen it. I may have seen it, yeah. But I'll look for it again just for fun. Yeah, so I mean, I really do like all that. Now, okay, so Grogu in this suit is really it changes the game for Grogu going forward because now he can actually participate in the action. Now, I was really surprised, um, what Din was, he was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna go on this mission to go to Mandalore to excavate the area by the forge and also like bring some settlers to Mandalore." And they're asking for a team, so he's the first one to volunteer, and he volunteers Grogu. And it's like, do you realize that Grogu is a child? He can do a lot, but he's still a child, basically. So it's really kind of a hard situation to kind of imagine him being in that little pram. So with this robot body, it actually helps him to move around a lot more and keep up. And I was actually kind of seeing something interesting there. That you have this look of Grogu inside of the IG-11. Now it's called IG-12 because it basically all it is an empty robot with just the functioning that he can function this robot. But also if we remember back to episode, well, I believe it was the second season, or yeah, I believe it was the second season where IG-11 had him like kind of straddled, and he was at that point a nurse to Grogu, and he was protecting him, in his like little like chassis. It was just kind of feels like things came around full circle for him. It just really felt right. As I loved it. From a writing perspective, uh, bringing something back from the second season that meant so much to Din and Grogu was a powerful piece there. And now Grogu has a body to move around in, So I'm anxious to see what he does in that body. And what kind, if they build him like a suit or something, or give him more, um, more fun toys to play with, or weapons and stuff. So he can actually like do things in that thing. So, because he's got such a small body, it just seems like he's so vulnerable, and I worry about him. Uh, this way he can also still come out of the robot and be cute and fun, and eat everything all over the place. Let's see what you guys are saying. Movie Madness Entertainment says they should have put a jetpack on Grogu's suit. Yes. Why didn't they do that? But the okay, so with the Mandalorians, you have to earn the backpack. I do believe that you have to earn the backpack, and Grogu only has the one shield and the um uh the chainmail shirt. So he has to earn the the he has to earn it. I wish they could have just given it to him just once, though. Uh, just broke the. I wish they had broken the rules just once for him. Uh, Alan Akron says, "I think they will in the future. Let him learn to walk first." Yeah, there's a lot that Grogu has to do because he is so tiny. Um, and definitely, I feel like the robot suit is sort of a cheat in a way. They're cheating. They're cheating. But I'll allow it. I'll allow it. It's such a great idea. Daryl Johnson's they will put a jetpack on it. Yeah, I think they will eventually, because as you can see, Grogu is already proving himself to be of an upstanding character, and so he has already separated a huge fight between Paz Vizsla and Axe Woves. They were really going at it, and Grogu stood between them and said, "No, no, no." It was a brilliant moment. I was just so proud of little Grogu. And it was a great moment for him. So I think he will probably get that jetpack before you know it. And another awesome surprises. I hope he does. But with that robot body and a jetpack, he can do some damage. He could be very valuable in a fight. And Daryl Johnson says Mando has been captured and he's going to need a jetpack to help him get out of prison. Yes, because they took um, Mando's jetpack from him, and all of his weapons. So it's a tough one. I was really hoping, and I knew, I was like, they're not gonna do this. I was hoping that he would grab one of the blasters from one of the people who fell and start using the gun, but I'm like, no, they won't do that, because that might be signaling to kids that they should use, you know what I mean? It may be giving a bad message out there. And even though I wouldn't mind it, but I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but this is one of those things. But I was really wondering, there was a few things I was wondering, and there probably are fantastic reasons why. Um, why didn't Grogu use, the Force to do things? Like try to open the door, or, Force choke uh Moff Gideon. Or, I wanted him to do something with his powers, um to kind of, uh, just to be part of it. But I think, um like, if when you think about, like, when you're a kid, sometimes things like that scare you, and you don't. know what to do when you're scared. When you're scared, sometimes it's really hard to know what to do. So I think that might be part of the issue there. He may have been too afraid to do anything because he's a kid. He's a child, really, mentally. And so one of the theories out there. Okay, so here's the thing. When they get to Mandalore, they meet up with other Mandalorians, and those Mandalorians are claimed to have survived on the planet during the Night of a Thousand Tears when it was completely bombed by the Empire, led by Moff Gideon. Now, now the likelihood of that is so slim, but they pledge allegiance to Bo-Katan when they see her, and they offer to take her to the forge. And the forge is where they need to set up their new camp, right? Because the forge is the center of their civilization, and then they can build out from there. And so it was really interesting that they brought them right to the forge. But once they got to the forge, it was completely overrun by Imperial forces. It was already like you can see Imperial forces. They were ambushed by uh, what looks like stormtroopers in Beskar armor and jetpacks. This is huge. Uh, This is huge because this is the army that that Moff Gideon is building. He's building an army that will be so impenetrable and so incredible that they will hardly be able to be phased by onslaught or attack. Now, the other thing that's really interesting about this is that this type of army didn't make it to the sequels. So we can all gather, we can all gather that Moff Gideon fails. But what kind of damage does he do on the way to do, uh, to this, right? Um, it, we don't see that army being used by the Empire or the new what do they call it? The New Order, right? We don't The New Order doesn't use this army in their army. They use stormtroopers. So I thought it was very interesting. It's something interesting for us to hold on to for a little bit. That definitely Moff Gideon fails, but what damage does he cause in the meantime? So what I really got from that um, was that uh, he has been on Mandalore this whole time ever since it was destroyed. And there is someone within the ranks of or some people within the ranks of the Mandalorians that have allegiance to Moff Gideon for whatever reasons. Maybe he's holding a precious person that they love captive. He made a deal with them. Who knows what it is? But there is someone working on the inside telling other Mandalorians the planet is poisoned. No, don't go to the planet. It's a mess. Don't go there. But it's not true. So, excuse me, my allergies are starting to act up again. This is really exciting for me to find out because I'm like, So all of this time, they were told not to go to the planet, and really, the planet was just fine. Not totally just fine, but it was livable. And the main reason why he was doing that was because he was draining the planet of its resources of Beskar to build this army. He needed that Beskar in order to build the army he wants to take over uh, the entire, like the Empire remnants. He wants to be top dog. He's after um, he's after the top position. Okay, he wants to be top dog, and I love that motivation for him. It's ambition that is ruling him and is making him do all of these terrible, horrible things to these people, and appropriating their culture, appropriating everybody's culture. He said that he takes from the Jedi, and he's just going for it. It's very fun to finally get into a storyline that's juicy enough to bite into. That's all I have to say. So yeah, now the other piece that's really kind of interesting, it's a bit of detail. There is the name of the well, let me see what you guys are saying first before I get into that. Uh, let's see. Oh, Daryl says, how much training did he get from Luke? He was there for 2 years. He was training with Luke for 2 years. So I don't know if, the training did, and, how much training. That's a lot of time, I would say. That's a lot of time. And I would say that's more time than Luke spent with Yoda. That's more time than what Luke spent with Yoda. uh, uh, Little Poet Boy says, "Dang it, I didn't get any notifications for this stream. I can't get enough." Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you, Little Poet Boy. Um, and Unicorn Rampant Studio says, "Welcome." Thank you, guys. You guys are so awesome. And Daryl Johnson says, "A spy." And the name of the episode is called "The Spies." So we got one spy down, which is the obvious Elia Kane. But who is the second spy? Is the question. Who is the second spy? This is the part that's fun to figure out. And I wish we had this earlier so we can have more of this. We can figure it out together. That's fun. That's fun. That's what makes a series fun. Okay. Um, and Daryl Johnson says it could be Bo-Katan. I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm thinking. I don't think so. It would be a very, very, if she was, it would be for a very, very good reason. Um, uh, and Sin Havoc is here. Hello. Hi, Sin Havoc. Says, hi, Retro Nerd Girl. Oh, thank you for being here, Sin Havoc. What's up, everyone in the chat? And Sin Havoc says, Bo-Katan's people are probably the traitors. Okay, axe wolves. Okay, always fighting everybody. Didn't want to follow her. Didn't want to follow Din Djarin. I don't think that he is. I think we can just. Well, guys, listen to this. Before the final piece or the final area that well, they get ambushed. the Mandalorians get ambushed. During the ambush, guess who escapes saying, "Oh, we're gonna get help"? Axe Woves. Okay, you gotta look out for that Axe Woves. I'm watching you, Axe Woves. Okay, so he is suspect number one. Sin Havoc also mentions, imagine if it was the armorer. And there is a lot of evidence pointing towards the armorer that she may also be the spy. And I have some things that I wrote down. So the armorer is the one who's upholding all of these rules and regulations for the children of the Watch, who were the survivors that were hid on the moon of Quran. I forgot the name of the moon. Anyway, they hid on that moon, and she has been telling them, how to go about things. Can't take off your helmet. Why? Probably because she doesn't want them to see what she looks like. Okay, because what she looks like may give away her identity or her allegiance. Okay, just saying, just saying. The other thing, the armorer was the one who said that the world was poison. And she didn't want Din Djarin to go to the waters you know to to redeem himself, right? And I think she made that up on the cusp. I don't think that I think she made that up. Like feeling like she was didn't know what to do. And yeah, she kept them from going. They were right there on the moon, right next to Mandalore. She kept them on that planet and did not like they were not told to even check out to make sure if things are okay. They didn't even check out to make sure everything was okay on Mandalore, right? So there's definitely a reason. I think there's good reason. Now here inside this episode, the the armorer says, "Oh, look, these people are too weak to go on. Let me take them back to the ship and take the ship to the main garrison." Okay. Um, and Bo-Katan is like, "Yes, yes, of course." And so she takes their only ship off the planet, so they don't have any way to, they have no way to leave, right? So if the Mandalorians are ambushed, they have nowhere to they have nowhere to go. They cannot leave the planet, so they're trapped on the planet. The ones that are on the planet right now, they cannot leave because she took the ship. And that is really sketchy to me, right? Very, very sketchy. If she is not the bad guy here or the spy, I would be really, really surprised. I would be surprised. I'm not saying 100% that she's the bad guy, but it's leading up to that. She has so much motivation. Okay. Um, Here's another tip. The lady who plays the armorer, she was talking to some people about the last episode. I asked her about the last episode, and she was very excited about the last episode. So it just, my brain is going, oh, why would she be so excited about the last episode if she didn't have a juicy part to play in that last episode? So, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying to read between the lines here, and yeah, and I think the biggest thing there is, the biggest tip off is, why do these Mandalorians keep their helmet on? Because she doesn't want them to see what she looks like. And that is the big tip off to whether she is working uh, on their side or not. And Daryl Johnson says, greed, power, always good reasons. Yes. It's the perfect motivation. He wants to be, top dog. He's watched Emperor Palpatine and all those other boys, do all the stuff, he's watched Thrawn. He wants a piece of the action at the top. Now that the two big baddies are out of the way, what? Hey, I'm here. I did love all of the banter between uh, the uh, remnant officers of the Imperial side, and how all the people of the Shadow Council, and how they were so militant and so like, yes, do it, kill. They were so uh, uh, arrogant and just scary. Those guys were scary. The women were like, just as savage as they were all just savage, about man or life at all. They just seem to be so wrapped up into this imperial lifestyle. For the imperial lifestyle, like, what is the best society for this imperial world? Like, they steal resources from people to use it for the military, and how is this working? Like, where do you have like a normal life that of happiness in this, like, supposed imperial lifestyle? I know there are some people who, um, the the show Andor showed us some people um, who were living fat off of the hog at the top of the, um, and officers that were treated very well, and they could give their kids great education, and they were basically grooming their children to follow in their footsteps to serve the empire. But where's the true happiness? I don't know. It just seemed like, I don't get the empire side at all. All right, I'm actually getting attacked by uh, my terrible allergies. Give me 1 second to give it. I'm gonna play a video really quickly. Um, to Let's see if I can find one that's adorable. Let's find an adorable one. Um, Here's one. Okay, here's one. So I can take care of my allergies really quickly. Woo! It happens. But it's not as bad as before. So my allergies are not as bad as they were before. Okay, Sin Havoc says this episode finally delivered. Right? I mean, yes, this is what I've been wanting for weeks now. And oh, it's so sweet. Sin Havoc is telling everyone to get up those likes for me. Thank you so much. And Unicorn Rampant Student. Hey everyone, just a reminder that Retro Nerd Girl has so many reviews that you might find in so sweet. So sweet. You might find interesting, like Teen Wolf. And no, I'm not kidding. Yes, thank you so much, Unicorn Rampant Studio. Yes, I have tons of videos, and one is coming out on Sunday, guys. And my next huge video is coming out on Sunday. I'm so excited. El Necron, she also wanted to unite the Mandalorians so they can get them all in one place. Yes. Ooh, that armor. Oh. Guys. A showdown between Bo-Katan and the armorer. Okay, let's just do that. Let's do it now. It's gonna happen. I think it's gonna happen. That would be awesome, because I did in the armor. I don't, but yes. It's probably gonna happen. And Cinepic says, if the armor is the traitor, I wonder if she has a connection to Moff Gideon. Maybe she is Moff Gideon's lady, or she could be related to Bo-Katan. I sense a big reveal for the season finale. Yes. Okay. So here's the thing. The armor has horns on her helmet, and so does Moff Gideon. So there's a possibility that they're part of the same clan, if you will, um, of Mandalorians. And a lot of people are saying that she may be from Darth Maul's race of people. So um, I can't wait to see the makeup on that. That would be awesome if she was. But I think there is something about her face that's revealing her face would change the dynamic of how, of her being in the clan. But here's the thing. She has for the forger's knowledge of how to make all those things for the Mandalorians. So I hope there's somebody else in the clan who knows how to do this. Uh, Daryl Johnson. Well, dang, I gotta go play in the garbage. Recycling day. It was fun, RNG. Y'all have a great day. Oh, well, you too, Daryl. Thanks for joining us. It was so much fun having you. And Unicorn Rampant Studios, a $5 super chat. Oh, thank you so much. And adorable messages for invading allergens. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, well, I have our favorite little Keanu Reeves. Thank you for you. Oh my God, I love that music. It just makes me start dancing. Woodrow, I don't think Star Wars will ever get too deep. After Lucas sold the franchise, it's all about the money. I manage my expectations. I am too. I am too. You get stuff like last week, what we got for an episode, and then you get stuff from this week where you're like, wow, this is awesome. I'm just gonna take it in stride. I'm gonna eat the good stuff and just not consume the bad stuff. Like I intend to rewatch the heck out of the first season. That first season was amazing, and I'm gonna enjoy it by watching it again. And uh, and that's something I can do. This is one of the reasons why I love retro movies because it is, I love these movies, and so I rather watch them than some of the newer stuff. That stuff really hits a lot. Uh, better and deeper, and I enjoy it. But every once in a while, I try something new and see what dip my toes in the waters of new things. Elnaka says she did fight the Imperials in the first season. Something is going on. Hmm. That armor, man. That armor. I hope she's not evil, because if she is, ooh, she's really evil. William Blake Hall. I recommend to one and all RNG's review of Quatermass and the Pit. Oh wow, yes, that's actually really one of my. That was a surprise for me. When I got that one, that was a surprise how much I liked it and how much I enjoyed doing a deep dive on that. That was, yeah, a good one. Thank you for reminding me of one of my reviews that I enjoyed making. And Sin Havoc says, yep, the armor also could tell if the living waters were from Mandalore was real or not. That armorer, guys, that armorer. Little poet boy says, "Do these Disney Plus shows go on Blu-ray?" I don't know. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I've ever seen them on Blu-ray, to be honest. Um, I don't know why they don't though. There's no way they could make the armorer evil. Not sure how that could make sense. Um, there's a couple of things, right? If she's playing the long game with with Marth uh, with Moff Gideon, um, and he told her, look after these people, make sure that they don't go um to Mandalore, keep them under control. Then she's like, oh yes, we're the Mandalorians. She's doing her things and telling people what to do, telling them how to behave, telling them they can't take off their helmet. This is the true way to be a Mandalorian. uh Junk like that. She's brainwashed them into believing this is the way of the Mandalorian. But if you watch any of the old stuff from Clone Wars, the TV show, that was on Disney Plus, I'm not sure where I believe Clone Wars. You can probably That's probably on Blu-ray. I'm sorry, or on some sort of way to watch it because it was on regular TV, I believe. I believe. Anyway, the that in that show, the Mandalorians were like, some people just didn't. They wore their helmets when they needed it. They didn't wear it all the time, and so that's kind of weird that this group keeps their helmets on all the time. Remember when uh when Bo-Katan sees them, one of them, the people says, "Oh, he's one of them." Uh, they don't consider those guys real Mandalorians. They are they don't consider them real Mandalorians. They don't even know what pog soup is. So it's really interesting. She has a motivation. She did some shady stuff today, in this episode, by not by taking the ship with these sick people on board. I don't think those people were sick, and I'm really like the survivors of the the survivors that were living on Mandalore. I don't know about that. They're sketchy too. At this point, I don't trust any of them. I don't trust axe wolves, all of them. There, I don't trust any of them. Um, but unfortunately, we lost Paz Vizsla today, which is super sad. He's got a son, Ragnar, and it 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 was unnecessary. I don't think it was necessary for him to die. But we should look at this as something interesting because this is a character. This is a character that was voiced by Jon Favreau, and Jon Favreau killing off his own character. I don't know. That says something to me. Uh, and you can read it however you want to, but it does sound like uh, sort of the passing of the baton, if you will, um, or sort of cleansing oneself uh, of of uh, of something. So uh, I'll just leave it at that. And Sin Havoc says Clone Wars, I believe, was a cartoon on Cartoon Network years ago. You're most likely correct about that, because it was on regular TV before Disney Plus even showed up, and so they did have a huge storyline with um, the Mandalorians and the wars that were happening on with the Mandalorians. Um, Bo-Katan was on the show. Her sister Satine was on the show. Sabine was on the show as well, who's now going to be in the Ahsoka show. So there's a lot of shows. There's a lot of shows. Um, and Little Poet Boy says, I hope this isn't a last season. Has season 4 been confirmed? Now, season 4 has not been confirmed, but it has been written according to the showrunners, which is very interesting. They already have season 4 written. And I hope they will do some revisions after seeing how season 3 has turned out as far as being focused into the story. Now, they also are taking the story out as far as um, they are doing a movie um, that is going to be directed by uh, Dave Favreau, and it is also going to tie up the Mandoverse, as they call it. They're gonna tie up the Mandoverse, and they're going to make sure that everything in this little pocket universe of the Mandosphere is tied up like a bow by the end of it. Which I don't know why they would want to do that in one movie. I would do a trilogy if I were them. I mean, but I'd rather for them to do one movie that was amazing than to do three sucky movies with a lot of filler and a big third act. I rather for them to get it potent there. So maybe just a movie is fine. Maybe they just don't have any more stories to tell with this. But according to the showrunners, they did have a lot of content uh, for Mandalorian, but it's pretty much known right now that the Mandalorian was going to be Din Djarin as was Din Djarin, right? And now season 3, it is really transferring hands to Bo-Katan being the Mandalorian, and they were saying that there are many different people that will embody the title of the Mandalorian. Interesting, interesting. Um, very interesting. I still want to just. I want them to make. I want them to make a spin-off show of just Din Djarin. Okay, that's what I want. Din Djarin and Grogu. So I don't know how they will make that happen. Uh, and Sin Havoc says the armor, and Bo-Katan's people are moles. Moff Gideon is coming for that number 1 spot for the Empire. Will Grant Admiral Thrawn show up next week. I don't know. That would be awesome. Some people were saying that Darth Maul might show up, and I'm not sure. I think he's deceased by this time, I believe. I believe. Yes, 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 yes. Because yes, he is because um he was ultimately killed by Obi-Wan in the desert of Tatooine. So it wouldn't be him. It would have to be Admiral Thrawn that would be the one that would probably show up. Now, it could be that Luke makes another appearance because they said that there's going to be a big appearance that's on the level of Luke. And so I was like, okay, well, if it's not Luke, maybe it's Leia. Maybe Leia shows up. So that would be interesting. Um, it would be so cool if Leia showed up with a squadron of you know her the beginnings of a rebel force of or whatever um factions they went off into. Um, it would be interesting. So we don't know yet. And Sin Havoc says the idea of 5 seasons for the Mandalorian and then the Mandalorian movie. Yeah, yeah. Um, that's to me, that would be perfect. But they have to shape up the story to make it potent, and not give us so much filler. Um, I like the way that they have these strings, but the strings need to tie together a little more tightly than how loosely they're being like. So if we're seeing something from this season that we're only gonna pick up in season 5, I, yeah, that's cool, but can't uh, I don't want to wait till season 5 to get the answer to my story, you know? We need to tighten it up a little bit. And I can see Bo's character being in the Rangers. Uh to be in Rangers and to be the Rangers. Um are they doing a Rangers show? Because they were going to do a Rangers show, and I believe that some of the elements from the Rangers show ended up, or is going to be ending up in this series. I think so. I'm not sure. And little boy, if Rangers ever becomes a reality, yeah, that's another thing. I don't think the Rangers are gonna have, because that was a Cara Dune thing, and I think they're just gonna go. Uh, there, it would be fine if they just carried on without her and just did a Ranger show. What's wrong with that? You know what I mean? Replace Cara Dune with a different name of a different character and do it. Um, that would be something cool where they could just uh, go around the galaxy helping people, helping small towns, helping small uh, places, like Din was doing in the first season. I mean, I miss the first season so much. As Sinavik says, Imperial Guard showing up is huge. Din Djarin rides the Mythosaur, and that is what I want to see. Oh, that would be awesome. If he did ride that Mythosaur, um, and yeah, at first there's a huge monster that shows up, and I thought it was like, oh my God, that's a Mythosaur, and it wasn't. It's just some monster that showed up. Let me see if there's anything else that I wanted to say. So we've got our two main suspects, Axe Woves and the Armorer. The Armorer, I'm like watching her very carefully. Uh, she, I got my eye on that Armorer. And let's see. I love the Praetorian Guards. Just so sad that Paz Vizsla didn't make it, and I think that his death was definitely not something that was needed. But I think they really wanted to show that the stakes were high. Stakes anybody could go at this point. And I really like my heart almost broke when I saw poor little Grogu's face as his daddy was being taken away. Oh, it just broke my heart. Um, and this is the other thing. Why didn't Moff Gideon kill Din Djarin? He told them to take him to the debriefing room. What? What is that? Like why why is he going to the debriefing room? So that was also another piece. Like, what does that mean? Um, and yeah, I mean, I didn't get it. Like, why does he want Din Djarin alive? There's something special about Din Djarin in particular. Um, so that was really kind of interesting to me. And oh, look who's here. Bonzo Kilborn. Can't stay about to watch now, but uh here's a hello and a like. Oh, thank you, namaste. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I sure did. I enjoyed it so much. I watched it twice. Um, just some things that I wanted to also mention about the episode was that it was really high quality. Everything was done so well, looked really good to me, at least. The sound design was incredible, especially for the last scene. It was, matched up with the music. The music just, especially the battle sequence, just made me a super hyped up. I was like, yeah, let's do this. It was great. And just like that last scene was just very um, uh, like every sound was just uh, part of the experience of like actually almost feeling like you were there, and it made the drama way more intense um, for the scene, and I love that. I love when a moment in a project, whether it be on television or a um, a movie, can put me in the middle of what's happening. That is amazing. That's storytelling at its best, and it's using everything sound, visuals, playing upon the emotions and getting you to this feeling of like you're right there with the characters. Um, and for so much stuff that happened in this season that was so wonky and like got me out of the season, this one brought me right back in, and it was great. And Sin Havoc said this episode also teased the beginning of the First Order. Yes, with Hux being there, and also what was his name? Uh, yeah, his father's name is Brendel Hux. Uh, and what is the name of the guy? Captain Pelion. Guys, Captain Pelion, who many people don't know who he is. Even I didn't know who he was until I found out from some very intelligent nerds online that he was second in command to Thrawn. Um, Admiral Thrawn. And so he's been holding down the fort, touting the day that Thrawn will come back, and trying to keep everybody together, while also waiting for patiently for Thrawn to return. And he's extremely loyal to Thrawn. So there's that. Also, one other piece I really loved. loved, 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 loved was when Din got a chance to talk to Bo-Katan privately. And he told her something very interesting. Let me see if I could find part of the quote. Uh, yes, he said that he really basically, this is the first time he did this. The first time he called her Lady Bo-Katan, which I thought was very, I was like, oh wow, you were getting, this is making me feel like he's her champion, like he's her knight. And there's a partnership between them. And he said that he is going to serve her, as long as, as he can, he will serve her. And for once in this season, I actually felt like he had a purpose. That was what was missing from his character. He didn't, throughout this season, he didn't seem to have a purpose. He was just accidentally standing beside Bo. And I'm like, okay, well, why is he here? And then he finally says this, and it was just like, wow, I love Din even more than ever right now. And he says it's not the sword or the dark saber that makes him want to follow. And even any of the people of the children of the watch, they don't care about the sword. They care about a few things. They care about honor, loyalty, and character. I was like, yes. That is so cool. Like, that's a really creative way to show like some kind of like message without feeling like you're being preached at or anything. He's just talking about how he feels and what's important to him. And that really is um a like a great moment for his character to reveal. That's the reason why he follows her. And that's the reason why he cares. And so he promises, I forgot the exact wording, but he says to her that your song has not been sung just yet, and I will be there until it is. It's something to that effect. And it was so awesome. It was like, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. It wasn't romantic at all. It was just he was just pledging his allegiance. And he did that thing where they put their hand on their chest. It was just so cool. I was like, yes. Oh, well, actually, it's this side, right? Oh, which side? Yeah, it's this side. And I was like, oh, this is so great. I love that for his character. During the battle, he's out front and center. He is like he's doing Mando things again. It's just so incredible. Um, how they treated his character with so much respect in this episode. He wasn't the center of the episode. Okay, that's it. That's another thing. He was not the center of the episode. That's not what people are asking for. People are asking for characters that feel real, that have a motivation. That's what they're asking for. They're not asking for um, the character to be a man, or they're not asking the character to be um, in the center of everything. Din does not have to be the center of everything, but we need to know that he's there and he's effective. He's effectual, and he is the guy that we fell in love with is still there. Um, and we did fall in love. A lot of people did fall in love with this character, and so to treat him like doesn't, treat him like he doesn't matter for so many episodes. just, kind of breaks your heart alone. So it was really wonderful to see him take center stage for a moment, or even just say um, a beautiful motivation for what he's doing. And he actually calls her Lady Bo-Katan. I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. I like that. I like that. I really did. Sin Havoc says, imagine seeing Supreme Leader Snoke. That would be insane. Ooh! Would the fans like that? Would the fans go off? Would the fans like get pissed? Because we did see some things in those vats, right? Because Moff Gideon passes by a whole bunch of like, I would say that they're dead clones. They're in like these like vats. And it's very interesting stuff. I just want to spend a full day there, just like figuring out what's going on with Gideon, and what are the plans of the Empire. It's also fascinating, but we're not get. That's what we should have gotten all this season. Was we should have been getting like the information about what they're planning and what they're doing. It's so juicy. That's where all the juicy stuff is. And Sin Havoc says Bo-Katan, Din Djarin romance actually might happen. Yeah, I mean, I I definitely, if there is a romance, I don't want it to happen all of a sudden. I would love for it to happen slowly over time. There's more trust is built. Um, and I do love this whole like knights, and it makes me reminds me a lot of like King Arthur, and the Knights of the Templar, and all that stuff. Like they need to figure out how to bring that uh out again, and also how to make the Mandalorians work um as a civilization, because they've been fighting for so long, they haven't worked together. How can they work together? And so uh, this is something that I'm looking forward to seeing what they're planning on doing. I have not given up on the series yet. It's like today's was perfect. Like I said, I don't usually give out a 10, but it went above my expectations, and surprised me and gave me some stuff that I didn't even know I wanted, and it's got me thinking, it's got me jazzed up. I'm like, who's the spy? Somebody crack the code for me and tell me who the spy is. And right now the armor is looking really suspicious, and as everybody's been wanting to see that fight between Bo-Katan and the armor for ages, and I think we might get it. We might we might get it. Um, and I think that's it. I think there may be more. I haven't thought of like sometimes I'll come up with some more like later, but I guess I'll talk to some of my other friends that are some of their shows, and talk to them about it, and they'll share their ideas with me. And it's just I love talking about stuff like this. I like getting excited for stuff like this, and it doesn't happen all the time. That's right, Jay is here. Yes, so good to see you. And you said, I hope not every story needs a love story, just in my opinion. It's true, it 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 if it has to be right. It has to be right. And the way it's set up right now, I don't think a love story is actually like the way they've set it up right now. It just doesn't feel right. Um, if they haven't fallen in love before now, like if there wasn't any um, if there wasn't any uh flirting or there hasn't been any of that. It's just been very straightforward. Um, and like maybe once or twice they were like, "Oh, what are you thinking?" That's not flirting. So yeah, I think at this point it's too early to have a love story. Um, but you never know, those cold Mandalorian nights. Unicorn Rampant Studio says love stories are great when they are believable, sincere, and actually plausible. Yes, 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 yes. And I don't think it's earned. They did not earn a romance in this story yet. Um, there was a moment when I thought maybe they were going in that direction. And that was in episode 2 when Bo-Katan, was it episode 2? Yeah. Yes. Episode 2 when Bo-Katan said my father died protecting Mandalore. And Din Djarin was like, this is the way. And then she looked at him like, um, and she gave him another look like that when he walked into the waters. So I think there might have been something there, but I haven't seen it since. So it's not earned. They should not be a romance I don't at this point, no. Uh, and yes, right. That's right, Jason. I feel like it would be tacked on here. They don't have that chemistry. They don't have that chemistry. It is a beautiful working relationship. They fight well together. They, you know what I mean? He backs her up when she goes out on her thing. He led the charge in there today. Um, Getting in there and mixing it up. He's a definitely a great asset to her, but he is not a there's like romance. I don't see it. Um, but they'd have to write it in there, and it would like we need all of season 5 to get into the like we need season 4 and 5 to get to the romance part. I mean, Bo-Katan as well. I don't think she's ever had a boyfriend. I don't think so. I don't think she's ever had a boyfriend. So I don't even think she would know what to do. Like, uh, yeah. Uh, and I guess the closest thing to a boyfriend she had would have been the Paz Vizsla's dad, who was the leader of the Death Watch, and they were excellent working partners. That's it. That's her experience with, people of the opposite sex. She's not she's you know, she's not a princess by any means, like any and l- like a typical princess. So yeah, 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 absolutely. That's right, Jay. I agree with you. It's too much to be like, oh yeah, we're in love now. Uh, Nobody has even they didn't even talk to each other. This is the first time they're actually talking to each other, like off the cuff, sharing feelings, sharing purpose with one another. It was that one conversation that they had in this episode. So there's no like I can't even imagine if they ever do. I please somebody. I hope it never happens like that. Um, because they need more time to develop a relationship like that. And Unicorn Rampant Studio says maybe that's just our shallow future ways. This is the ancient past where maybe they didn't care what people look like. Maybe, yeah. Uh, yeah, this is true. Um, and that's right. Jay says, I still like calling him Mando. Yes, so does Grief Karga. Grief Karga calls him Mando. Uh, and so that's why I'm like, why are we changing the formula? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But that's what they plan on doing. That's Star Wars. It's it's never done anything I've ever wanted it to do. Star Wars has ever always done something I totally did not want it to do. So um I have, you know, it's another like shrug your shoulders. It's Star Wars. That's right, Jay. I'm bad with Star Wars name. I call her Starbuck. Ah. um. Well. Yeah. I mean, I think she's. Let's see. Unicorn Rampant students say it's probably easier to fall in love with someone if you have no idea what they look like while you get to know them. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I, I would say that, but in this series, they didn't even do the decency to have conversations where they would get to know each other. That's the problem. Like, if there was at least like two scenes with them talking about, like, she can talk about her, you know, her childhood, or he could talk about his childhood and share stories. They didn't do that. They had one scene where she was kind of talking about her childhood once, but it was also to mock the fact that he was about to go and uh, baptize himself in the waters. It was really not a romantic moment, but it's the closest thing to one in the whole series. So, Unicorn Rampant Studio says, just a reminder, I'm out of context since I don't watch this, so I only know what you told me. Oh, you're so sweet. Yeah, yeah, it is. You're so right. It is easier. You would think it would be easier, but also these guys are a little bit weird too because they're a warrior race and they basically just um uh, they have a different way of looking at each other, and especially with the helmets on, and I don't think that helps. And the little poet boy says, "I am forgetting this is the ancient past, not the far future." Yes, 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 it's true. It's just true. And that's right. You mean Apollo Creed? Sorry for being silly. And little poet boy says, Bo isn't royalty, though. I I thought she was." She is. She's real. She's royal. She's part of the royal family. Uh, and her title is Lady, I guess, Lady Bo-Katan. So yes, she is royalty. She's next in line by her bloodline to rule over Mandalore. Uh, and Sin Hammock says this season showed the tension between Bo and Din. Romance is coming soon. Ooh. Yeah, I really wish I had seen more of the tension. But yeah, I see exactly what you're talking about there. I just wanted more conversations where they were going to ease up to each other, slowly becoming more friends. And that they did, but it wasn't as warm as I wanted it, or as uh, bring more of the emotions in. Like, cause if I knew that they were closer together, closer friends, it would have been so easy for me to understand why he was there with her, and when they went to Plasia 5, like, I would be like, "Oh, that's why he went with her." They are, they're besties, So, Unicorn Rapids, it's also in a totally different galaxy that is nowhere near our own. Yes, it is. That's the fun of it. And little poetry boy says, um, so she's a Disney princess. Yes, she's technically a Disney princess, and so is Lizzo. Lizzo is Disney princess. Um, canon. uh, and Sinavik says, remember their vision of romance is probably a little different. I think Bo-Katan is attracted to Din. Yeah, you may have something there because they're a colder, different kind of society of warriors, and the Mandalorians have to earn their medal that they have. So I don't. Uh, it might they may look at romance as a totally, this whole thing about like what does he say, loyalty, character, what was the exact words, honor, loyalty, character, um is probably like Romeo for that. It must be like, I love you. How many how shall I count the waves? That's probably what that meant in Mandalorian. That's probably what it meant in Mandalorian, but I thought it was interesting. I thought it was one of the best episodes. I haven't found anything glaring any glaring problems with it. Um, and it's very entertaining, guys. So what I've been doing lately is going over um, a few things in the news before closing out. And let's see if we can find some news that is interesting. Let me see. Uh, we can stay on um, Star Wars if you want and see. Because I think that's the big thing that uh, the big news today was well, not today, but this week was Star Wars because of the Star Wars celebration. And there has been a lot said. Let's see if I can. Oh, no, no, no. See if I can share the screen with you guys for this news article that I found that was very interesting. Um, Still learning how to put all this stuff together because, um, oh, that's interesting. Um, all right, let's look at this. See how that fits. All right. It says how Ray's return uh, and a tired Mandalorian season riled up the fandom at Star Wars Celebration. Um, so it really wasn't. It's this one is really about this story is really about the fact that there is going to be a Star Wars movie in the works, or maybe even trilogy. Um, based on the sequels that everyone loves so much. um, and they're planning on doing this. Um, I'm not sure when it's slated for, but they're planning on doing something for the sequels, um, which is going to be set, I believe, 15 years after the last movie, and Daisy Ridley will be reprising her role. Um, and it says here, we've seen Ray in quite a bit of content, and I feel like we got to see what we needed to see from Ray's story, said Megan Blair, an SWC attendee who traveled from Denmark. I wasn't begging for more at the end of her trilogy. So that's pretty much the sentiment by many people. They're just really um, kind of wondering why are we getting more sequel stuff? Um, because the story was told, wasn't quite loved by everyone. What transpired, uh, but uh, there really was no need to actually pursue another uh, movie about Ray Skywalker. So that's really the gist of of that with the story. I don't know. I really feel like they're a little bit tone deaf as to why people don't really love the idea of having a a sequel to the sequels, uh, because it did so much wrong. But here's my positive spin on this. Positive spin, guys. Um, Maybe this time they will learn a thing or two about the sequels and why it didn't work. Perhaps the fact that they need to really plan out what they're going to do with these three movies and not leave it up to each individual director to come up with their own story. Um, and that was sort of the big problem uh, that faced the sequels. And had they the second problem would be the lack of the way they dishonored the original cast. Um, and that that was really pretty tragic the way they were completely dishonored. And hopefully, if in moving forward, they will learn how to develop these characters and give us some Star Wars stories that are fully thought out and and not just at the you know just let somebody else do the next story. I'm going to do this story, but somebody else take care of the rest. You can't just pass the baton on something as important as Star Wars. It has to be planned out and it has to be good. And let's see what you guys have to say. Um, okay, so I answered that one. Uh, Sin Havoc says, remember their vision of romance is probably, oh, yeah, yeah, we talked about that. Um, and that's right, Jay says, so is this a new episode that just came out? Yes, the new episode came out at 1 a.m. this morning, and I watched it then. It was super, super good and super fun for me. The episode before that, not so much. So this one was special. Sin Havoc said, oh, and there is one more episode to go. One more episode to go. So uh, it's been touch and go, but this last episode was very good, and they're setting up for something really special in the next episode, and I hope they do deliver because it's right there for them to like walk through the door. You don't even have to do much work; just follow the path, um, and I hope they will. I hope they will. And Sinavik says yes, the new episode dropped this morning. It sure did. And Shock Theater official is here. Hello. It says cool. And Sin Havoc says Ray is not worthy. Um, and that's right, Jay says, I think at this point, some more prequels is better. Some more prequels. Um, well, I think that's what all of these shows are about. They're like exploring the prequels and linking things up to the originals and linking things up to the sequels. And um, I don't mind it so much. I'm like, okay, well, you know, it's Star Wars. Ooh. I'm having fun with Star Wars. Okay, guys, somebody who was sworn off Star Wars. I was sworn off Star Wars for so many years. It was, and I went to see the last movie from the prequels, um, the Revenge of the the Jedi. I'm sorry, the Revenge of the Sith. And even though that was a really like a decent movie, very good movie actually, I was I was out. I was like, yep, okay, so it's finished. Good, good. No more of these things. It just did not have the special feeling it had when I was a kid. We were waiting on lines to see the next movie. It it was intensely amazing. When I was so excited as a kid to see those movies, and then seeing them seeing the prequels as an adult was like, all right, pretty cool, new special effects, new technology. Okay, I could see what they're doing, and see what the stories are happening, but it really didn't hit the same note for me. I mean, some would say that those movies were meant for kids, and even though they were talking about political stuff, but for me personally, it didn't hit that special uh, place. Didn't really um, love it, and after it was done, I was like, okay, that's it, no more. But then, all this stuff started coming out. I missed all of it. I missed all of it. The Clone Wars, Rebels, all of it. I barely, and I didn't even see the sequels in theaters. I waited for it to come on um, streaming. And uh, recently, after like watching the Obi-Wan series, which everybody pretty much hated, but for some reason I loved it. I was like, you know what? Star Wars is not what I think it is. It's not that thing that blows your mind when you're a kid anymore. It's it's good, okay, sometimes fabulous, sometimes not so much. Great special effects. Every movie, great special effects, great technical aspects. Story, sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's good. That's how I feel now. I'm I don't have any expectations. Um, except for next week, it better be good. No, just kidding. I don't have any expectations anymore. So it's I'm more able to buffer the feelings of things not going the way I think they should. So yeah, I have a new outlook on Star Wars. That's right, Jay says, like some Knights of the Old Republic stories. That would be really good, actually. I would like to see that, to be very honest. They were talking about a story set like 100 years before the prequels. I'm like, I want to see that. I want to see it. Little poet boy says, I've not watched any of the Disney Star Wars movies. Uh, I do want to watch Rogue One. That's about it. Plan to pick up Heir to the Empire audiobooks this weekend. Oh yes, okay. So yeah, I heard about Heir to Empire, the audiobooks, and he said it's probably going to be like 10 to 14 hours. That's incredible. But yeah, have fun with that. That should be a lot of fun. That's basically the story of Thrawn, which is great homework for the Ahsoka show. But I hear you. I mean, when people talk, when people say things about Star Wars, I understand. I understand the frustration. I understand all of that because I was there. Uh, at the same time, I can enjoy a dumb show or dumb episode or a silly episode like the one that was last week. I had my criticisms about it, but it's Star Wars now. You don't know what you're gonna get, right? It's like a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get until you bite into it. That is Star Wars. It's like a box of chocolates. uh, and Sin Havoc says Acolyte is 100 years before the prequels. Yes, that's what I was talking about. Acolyte. Is it? Is it the one? I hope so. I hope it's the one. That looks interesting. Um, and that's right, Jay says, as a Star Trek fan, I'm like, see, that's what it feels like. LOL. Oh yeah. Well, I haven't gotten over Star Trek, so I need to come to some sort of conclusion that I came from Star Wars to Star Trek because I'm still hurt by that 2009 movie. I haven't seen any bit of content since then, and I know I missed a lot. Missed a lot. I have to catch up, and so I have to make my peace with Star Trek. I haven't done that yet. I haven't done that yet. Oh, by the way, that's right, Jay. Do you suggest anything that I should watch that would that might help me make peace with Star Trek, the uh, the more recent stuff um, that is not Picard season three? I know everybody keeps saying Picard season three is great. I'm gonna watch it. I don't have Paramount Plus or Paramount, so uh, so is there anything? I fell in love with Strange New Worlds. It's my Mandalorian. Okay, okay, this is awesome. Strange. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write that down to see if I can get my hands on a way to see it. Strange New World. Yeah, it's really hard to get me to watch anything modern these days, but you can't live in a bubble forever. I would if I could, but you can't live in a bubble forever. All right, so I'm gonna take your advice and watch that. Um, I think there is another story, if I'm not. Um, oh, okay. This is what I was talking about here. Um, Mandalorian producer confirms that Din Djarin is no longer the only main character. What? Like, I don't understand it. It's like if you had a Wonder Woman series, it's a it's the Wonder Woman show, and then you're like, oh well, Wonder Woman is not Princess Diana is not the only character. I don't know. So this is, I mean, I like the character of Bo-Katan, and a lot of people have said they want her to have her own show. And then that's the whole point of having a spin-off show is that you can have Bo-Katan have her own show as many seasons as you want it to have. But at the same time, Din can continue to do what Din does. And for some reason, they got tired of writing stories for Din. They got tired of writing the storyline for him, which is very odd to me because it was a great formula they had for him. So it's just a little frustrating because somebody right at the bottom said, and listen to they said, and that's when you lose the fans. This show is watched because of Din Djarin. This season's massive drop reflects just how poorly handled this season has been. No one wants to watch the main character be sidelined in their own show. And it's true. And they did the same thing to Boba Fett by sidelining him. And it's just incredible how they think that that's okay. Uh, it's like saying, "Hey, we're gonna have spaghetti tonight," and then you show everybody the box of spaghetti, but then you give them uh, seashells or elbows. Like, that's not cool because the poster for The Mandalorian that promoted this season had Din Djarin on it with Grogu. So that was kind of lame. I don't know. It's just kind of lame. That's a little lame to me. Um, and William Blake calls us psst, psst. Whitman samplers let you know what each chocolate is. Well, a box of chocolate that's not Whitman's. It's the cheap kind you get from um, the um, the drugstore on Valentine's Day. Like Star Wars is the cheap kind of chocolate box that you don't know what is in. Um, yeah, you don't know. Like you could be getting a really amazing, the one that you like, or you could be getting the one with the cherries inside. Uh, uh, you could be getting the one with the mint inside, depending on your flavor. Like maybe that's awesome, but it's a little much. And that's right. Jay says it's about the Captain Kirk. It's about the Captain Kirk on the Enterprise first 5-year mission. Just sign up for the free 5-day trial and binge. Okay. Yeah, I like the episodic Mando episodes instead of 10-hour movies. And name private. Hiya, retro nerd girl waves. Hi, name private. How are you today? Thanks for visiting. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that this is kind of a fast move here. Like, if you really wanted to give us a Bo-Katan show, give us a Bo-Katan show. We're so here for it. We're so here for it. But we also didn't want to have to sacrifice Din Djarin, right? We didn't want to have to sacrifice something that we liked. And they did a very poor job of intertwining the two, I think. Darth Plato says, "Hail, chat." Hi, Darth Plato. How are you today? Um, Now, I think that's all the stories we have. Is everything was Star Wars related, and I didn't want to go through every Star Wars thing with you. didn't want to have to deal with it. We may be Star Wars out. But this article here was I thought was very interesting. Breaking news: Warner Brothers Discovery confirms rebrand of HBO Max and launch date. This Max is our rendezvous with destiny. That's not what we are looking for, but it looks like that's breaking news. And let's see if that will show up on my thing. No, because I open it another window. Um, yeah, that's one. Oh, okay, so that's brand new. They just updated it, but it was something that was mentioned a while back that they are removing the HBO from the HBO Max, and it will just be called Max from now on. Okay, and it'll go live May 23rd. So that's pretty cool. Warner Brothers Discovery making more changes to their platform. And this one, lawmakers want DOJ to investigate Warner Brothers Discovery merger, claiming it harmed workers and reduced content choice. Site axed Batgirl in letter. So yes, this whole thing with Batgirl being uh, pretty much canned, and what did they do? They shelved the movie and they used it as a tax write-off. And now it says here, four Democratic lawmakers want the Justice Department to investigate Warner Brothers Discovery, claiming that the merged company has harmed workers and reduced customer choice. Senator Elizabeth Warren, Rep. Joaquin Castro, David Silverstein, and Pram, Pramila Jayapal. This is uh, across, looks like they're mostly uh, Republicans, wrote a letter to Attorney General Merrick Garland and DOJ antitrust chief Jonathan Cantor that the merger appears to have enabled the company to adopt potentially anti-competitive anti-competitive price practices that reduce customer choice and harm workers in affected labor markets. And so, yeah, that is a pretty serious offense. And they're looking into this. Um, so it seems like the saga of Batgirl is continuing. And I for one want to know exactly what they find out or determine for this. Um, it's not like no one will go to jail or anything, but it is definitely one of those uh, articles or one of those news reports that I'm concerned. What are the implications of this? And will we see any changes in Hollywood because of this? And Darklighter, it's like Gary Seven in Star Trek, except Gary Seven isn't in every episode of the season. Uh, is this uh, 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 oh, okay. Yes, I see what you're saying. I got it. I got it. And Cinevic says WBD sale inbound. Yeah, they're probably going to sell. We're thinking Comcast. Not we're thinking, but that's the word out there on the buzz is that they're probably going to sell to Comcast, and they're probably already talking about things already. This is something that's already probably in the works behind the scenes. Um, and Cinematic says Batgirl is the tip of the iceberg. Yeah, it's looking like it, right? It's looking like there's way more stuff going on in a WBD that is that they probably need to take a look at. And I don't understand how lawmakers weren't involved in the whole situation with the Justice League movie that was released in 2017. That was there were some pretty serious allegations and things that came out in the news that people admitted to, and um, it just feels like they can continue to do these interesting practices without being caught. It's just wild to me. And that's right, Jay says, if it's not a Booster Gold show, I'm over DC. Yeah, the Booster Gold seems interesting. The Swamp Thing also seems interesting, but I have some concerns now because the director that they were going to use for Swamp Thing is has a gig over at Disney Star Wars, and so I'm wondering if he can pull off both. And Sin Havoc says WBD is insane. Insane debt. Yep, more than 100 billion in debt. Wow, it went up since the last time, huh? Wow, because when Zaslav walked through the doors, it was 55 billion. So I wonder um where that number came from. Wow, that's a lot. So yeah, guys, I am pretty much done for today as far as the news. I don't know if there's anything else. If there's anything else you guys want to talk about, I think I've got everything done. Mandalorian, we talked about the Mandalorian. This oh maybe one last thing um, is that we can look at trailers really quick. And just as a refresher to everyone, if you ever want to know what trailers are out there, just go to uh, imdb.com/trailers, and you will find all of the latest trailers that are out. Um, and they even extend to international movies as well. So the newest ones is Marvel's. They even give you dates, release dates, which is actually pretty handy if you're into the news, movie news stuff. Uh, so again, the one thing I'm the most excited for of this top tier here is Mission Impossible. I am really interested in that. Um, and Ahsoka's the trailer for Ahsoka was incredible. I really hope that it matches up to it. Now, one thing that has me very concerned is that there is a time travel component in the story, which I'm very curious as to find out how they're going to work that in or how it works in with the lore. There's a lore behind it. And so there's a lot of story or a lot of homework to do before you watch the Ahsoka show if you don't know anything about Ahsoka. So that's the other piece about Star Wars to remember is that Star Wars is full of uh, uh, Easter eggs and things from other shows, other books, and other it is like a smorgasbord of like research that needs to be done sometimes to understand characters and what they are doing. So that's another thing to consider when watching Star Wars. And sometimes the nerdy side of me loves it, and sometimes it's a burden. So depends on my mood. So I do enjoy like going down a rabbit hole sometimes looking for details on something I've just watched so I can understand it better. And then sometimes I don't have time for it. So I don't know about you guys, how if you like that at all, if you like doing research to have to understand something. Um, the other thing, I didn't see the Marvels yet. I'm going to, uh, but not right now. Yeah, I don't. I'm not really excited. And plus, when I got some time, it doesn't show. It doesn't come out until November. So watching a trailer right now will decrease my interest in this this movie. So I better not watch it now. I'm gonna watch it closer to the winter, maybe like uh, September or uh, uh, maybe even August. But to watch this now in November, I'm gonna lose all the interest I would have in this project. So I won't do it. Now, the Barbie movie is interesting to me. I really want to know how people will receive this movie. Uh, if it will be controversial or if it will be fun, or both. I don't know. And so I'm very curious about that. And those are the only three ones I'm really interested in. Guardians of the Galaxy, uh, maybe. I will wait till it comes on streaming. And Fast X, I can pass on that one. Not my kind of movie. Oppenheimer is one that looks really good. The Flash, I'm really curious about that one. And look, The Muppets has something coming out. That's interesting. Uh, y- May 10th. Yes, I'm very interested in that one. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Some people are really excited about this. And I will wait to see what people are saying about it. Um, there is Elemental, which looks interesting. It could be something fun. Um, is I'm not sure if it's for kids, but it looks interesting. And there's a new JLo movie called The Mother. I have no idea what it's about, but and she's got like survival gear and she's in the winter. So it's coming out May 12th. I've heard absolutely no buzz about this movie at all. Have you guys heard anything about this movie? It's very uh comes out of like left field. Um, let's see. Um, Sue Havoc says Kevin Tsujihara messed up the Justice League so he can get he get $28 million bonus before the end of 2017. Oh wow. Uh, that's right. Jay says thanks for the stream. Oh, my pleasure. I'm so glad you were able to make it, and it's always great to hear your stuff. And plus, more, thank you for telling me about Strange New Worlds and that I should check that out. Keith E says superheroes just don't have the integrity they once had. I don't think, yeah, I'm just not interested. I like superheroes. I love all the geeky stuff about superheroes. Uh, but superhero movies really feel like a formula, and I kind of want to be challenged a little bit more. Uh, Darth Plato says Star Wars should just go multiverse. I think it's the only way to save the fan base. Star Wars multiverse. Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Uh, Trying to think if that would help. I mean, they're gonna be mucking around in time travel with the Ahsoka show. That's that's the thing that I'm really nervous about. Like time travel is like you have to do time travel right. If you do it wrong, it just ruins everything. Like I feel like the time travel thing with Star Trek really wrecked it for me. Wrecked it for me. Um, Here we are trying to go into the future, and now we're going back into the past. Just that wasn't it for me. But I respect the movie though. I respect the movie. It looked pretty. The actors were amazing. There's a lot of work put into it. I respect the movie, but yeah. Oh no, not time travel. Yeah, time travel get is so messy if it's not done properly. If it's not done properly, or if it's not a gaggy joke, like hot tub time machine. Hilarious, hilarious. I mean, gaggles of laughs all day long. But if you're building out a universe based on they went back in time and they did this, and now we're watching all the characters we know and love being played by other characters that are just the same, and oh, but we're gonna change those characters because now it's in a different universe. We changed something when we went back in time. So now everybody gets to reimagine what it'd be like, uh, and just destroy the whole purpose of, um, Star Trek to begin with. I mean, Star Trek is just doesn't feel to me like uh, like the humanity, the growth that humanity was supposed to have reached in that future. Um, it still jars me that people are like in Picard season 1, 2, and even in 3 cursing, because I'm like, not that I'm prude or anything, but this is Star Trek. We've created and invented new words to describe how we feel. I mean, this is the future. So why are we using archaic language? Darth Vader, you need to you don't need to erase the sequels, just relegate it to an alternative timeline. Oh, interesting. It's like those poor sequels, they get treated so badly. Um, just regulate it to some other timeline, like over there. Oh God. I love it. I love it. Bonzo Kilburn, watch it now. Watch it now. I have no impulse control. And that's right, Jason. You had me at Muppets, right? Right? The Muppets. That I'm like everything else. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll watch that or this. Muppets? Heck yeah. And Darth Vader said, I'll probably review Oppenheimer with RM. Oh, cool. And now I'm looking forward to your review. I am looking forward to your review. Guys, if you haven't subscribed to the channel Positive Fandom, please do. They have many, many wonderful discussions over there about movies, TV shows, and Darth Plato gets together with uh, RM, who runs that channel, and they talk about a lot of wartime movies, a lot of movies about or TV shows about military strategists. And I forgot. Tell us the last one that you guys did um, to look out for because your conversations are incredible. They really are. They blow me away. Darth Vader in general, people in general don't have the integrity they used to have. When is the last time you say a gas station uh, where you didn't have to pay first? Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, you better pay first because uh, yeah, and they have every right to because the world's become a place where you can't just take people on their word any at all. That's right. Jay says, now, I'm fine with time travel as long as you have a DeLorean or you're going back in time to save him, back to to save the back whales. Yeah. Um, even that, yeah. It could be fun. It could be fun, but there's some things about the time travel thing that irk me. Uh, I find it to be like a cop out, but it could be fun too, right? You're going back to a certain era and you're playing around with those concepts. You're playing around with time, um, um, and it could be fun, but it can also be messy. Keith E, last couple of minutes to hit the thumbs up. Yes, thank you, Keith E. You're so awesome. Thank you for letting people know that they should hit the thumbs up to help the channel uh, to level up. It really needs uh, your help in that area. That's right, Jay says, humpback. Sorry, the phone keyboard. Oh, uh, oh, the humpback whales. Okay, yes. Yes, I sometimes when I'm typing, it just uh, gets it it just types whatever it wants. Uh, or it tries to autocorrect, which is the worst. If time travel is in Ahsoka, they might show the world between worlds when Ahsoka was younger. They may, yeah, because that is a key element in her storyline. Keith E says, "What happens when the series ends? Are you going to continue Wednesday live feeds?" Yes. We'll just find something else for me to watch. Uh, I'm gonna watch another modern thing because it's modern mornings. So that's pretty much the theme. It's the only time I'll get to talk about modern things. Otherwise, we're talking about retro things, right? So I'm excited to keep going with this. That's right, Jay says, colorful metaphors, Admiral. Oh, where's that from? Which one is that from? One of the Star Trek movies? I'm, uh, you may have to educate me on the Star Trek, because once I'm out, I get like amnesia. Um, I don't remember things anymore. I'm like, Darth Plato says the world between worlds is in the trailer. Yes, you can see a little bit of it. Darth Plato used to be able to gas your car and then pay. Yes. And yeah, now yeah, you've got to do all that up front. And John Walker's here. Hello, John Walker. Hey. Uh, and John Walker says, RNG, have you seen 7 Days TV show about time travel? No, I haven't. No, didn't know that that existed. Is that modern or is it retro? I'll write that down. 7 Days TV show. Guys, on Friday I have a huge show that I don't know if it's going to take one or two episodes to get through this, but it's going to be the cartoons of our childhood. Isn't that going to be fun? Oh my God, I was putting together the list and it is insane how many awesome uh uh things that you can that can go on that list. Do not mention them today. Well, maybe mention them just in case I don't have them on my list. But it is going to be so much fun, guys. I hope you can make it Friday. If not, catch the replay and definitely leave a message for me in the comments how you like it. And Darth Leia says, "Modern nerd girl." Yes, I can change my name for Wednesday mornings and the '90s show. Is that's a new one? That's a newer one, right? It's a play on the '70s show. I never watched that show, the '70s show. Um, that's right, Jay says you were talking about profanity in Picard. In Star Trek 4, Kirk explained profanity to Spock, and the I love Kirk trying to use profanity and failing by saying, double dumbass on you," to a taxi driver. Now, this brings up the perfect point that I was trying to make. These guys are so far off into the future, cursing, and their standards are totally different. Cursing is so foreign to them, you know? And I love that you brought that up. I love that you brought that. I might be bringing that up like for every time I talk about this from now on, because it's something that throws me out of Star Trek TV series. And I saw a couple of clips of the season 3, which I know everybody loves. Um, and they're just swearing left and right. I'm like, these are not the characters from the TNG show. They're not behaving the same way. You mean within the time period between the TNG show and this new alternative future, these guys turned into like, cursing. They 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 just started developing cursing. The entire universe regressed back to cursing. It just astounds me. Oh, look who's here. We've got Zach's in the house. Remember, remember that Pac-Man cartoon? Oh, okay. Thank you for letting me know. That wasn't on my list. Thank you for adding. Um, I didn't. I forgot that Pac-Man. I'm gonna add that too. It's a long list. It's way longer. It's way longer than the action stars list. I can't wait to get into it. And that's right. Jay says, yeah, profanity is not a thing in the 24th century. Yeah. What? Why are we doing? Why is it happening? Why is it happening? Really? Just blows my mind. It really it takes me right out of it. I'm like, oh, I can't believe this. I can't believe this. This is not doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. It does not make sense. Oh, Daryl Jensen is back. Hello. So glad to have you back. We're talking about Star Trek now. I don't know how we got there. Probably because that's right, Jay mentioned it, and it's a compelling story about the reason why I am having trouble accepting season 3 of Picard. Is part of the reason is the profanity that is being used, and we get some Star Trek experts here in the house that is letting us know that profanity is not a thing in the 24th century. Thank you. And Keith E is saying, I am Beethoven. Darth Player says, it's supposed to be that it's a better future. Yes! So ills of the modern world are gone, apparently, including cussing, which we've evolved past that. Uh, you know, using words like that does not express how you really feel. It's only a piece of it's the anger part, but without without the words that you need to fill in. Uh, and that's why every once in a while it's fun to curse. I would say it's fun, right? But it's not like that's not the way I would like communicate with my boss or a doctor, like or like somebody you need to get something from, right? You wouldn't talk that way. Um, Anyway, and so you were saying, including cussing, that is the essence of Star Trek Future to improve oneself. Thank you, thank you. This is why I have a problem with Star Trek today. Zach says so many great cartoons. Yes, there's so many wonderful cartoons. I can't wait to talk about them. I really can't. They're just going to be so much fun. Unicorn Rampant Studios, Kurt Vonnegut, author, said profanity gives the listener an excuse not to hear your words. Oh my God, Unicorn Rampant Studio, preach, preach. Oh my God, you guys are just you're speaking to me right now. You're speaking to me right now. Shay says, "My fault." It's a great conversation. Yes, it is a great conversation. Um, and I cannot talk about. I can't not talk about Star Trek. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, you heard me go on about Star Wars for a long time today. And yeah, Star Trek is another conversation that I have a lot to say about, but unfortunately, it's not as pleasant as my other conversations about other things because I'm still a little bit hurt over, and I use the word hurt over Star Trek 2009. It uh, just didn't gel with me very well, and I'm trying to get over it, but I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't gotten there yet. I haven't. I think I still hold Star Trek up there, like all the way up there, up there, right? I need to bring it down, you know. Like Star Wars is down here somewhere, right? It's like yeah, some days it's gonna be fantastic, sometimes it's gonna be crappy. It's a smorgasbord. You don't know what you're gonna get. With Star Trek, it was always good until it wasn't. And yeah, Keithy said one of the oldest cartoons that came out in the 50s was called Crusader Rabbit, and it was only shown in a couple of markets. Oh, Crusader Market. Rabbit. Crusader Rabbit. I have never heard of Crusader Rabbit. I'm going to write it down. And if I can find information on it, I will add it onto the thing because it's very interesting how many cartoons there were, and I'm trying to figure out where to stop too, because it's like okay, I remember I was watching cartoons way into my adulthood, and I still do kind of watch cartoons on a not all the time. I don't have to have the time as much to watch the cartoons, uh, but like every once in a while, I'll catch like Teen Titans because I like those guys. Um, Teen Titan Go is the one. Um, in particular. Unicorn Rampant Studio says, I have to bring up Teen Wolf, the Teen Wolf review again because RNG howls like a wolf at the end. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I howl like a wolf. There are many times when yeah, I do act out part of the some of the movies, and that is one of them. One of my favorite things to act out was in my review for Conan, where I say the entire monologue that Conan's dad said to him when he was teaching him about the riddle of steel. My gosh, what a quote! I love that movie so much. Uh, I just think it's so brilliant. And that's right, Jay says, FYI, Star Trek Beyond felt like they were starting to get the new cast right. A little too late, though. Okay. And Unicorn Rampant Studio says, it really cracked me up, and I had to share that. Yeah, it's hilarious. Uh, I like making pretending and making weird character noises and things like that. Johnny Walker said, Walker says, one of my favorite cartoons is Jace and the Wheeled Warriors. Yes, yes, that's not on my list though. I need to add that. Jace and the Wheeled Warriors, man, that's bringing it back. Ooh, deep cut. And the Wheeled Warriors, and that's bringing it back. It has a catchy theme tune. Yes, that was a really good one. One of them that I used to love so much. Uh, the theme for Galaxy Rangers. You guys, you got to look it up. The theme for Galaxy Rangers is so good. Uh, that's right, Chase says, I love Thunder the Barbarian. Me too. I love that. I love that show so much. So much. Well, guys, it has been 3 hours of so much fun. I don't know what to say. Um, I haven't gotten any sleep in the last 24 hours. So, so I don't even know how I'm running. I had a little coffee. And oh, just to remind you guys that, oh, let's get my full screen here. Look what I got in the mail, guys. To bring it up closer. The Retro Nerd Girl Cup. It's so cool. I'm so excited, and I have real coffee inside. What a treat today to get that in the mail. So I'm so excited uh, about that, and it looks pretty good too. I mean, it's not bad. What do you guys think? You think I should make it a little bit bigger? Should I make this a little bit bigger, or or what? Should I make it bigger? I think I can make it bigger. It's a little small. There's like a little glare on it. Let me see if I can find it the perfect place. There we go. Yeah, it should I make it bigger or is this the perfect size? Let me know. Let me know. And John Walker says, Galaxy Rangers, thumbs up. Yes, wasn't it? It was actually a really interesting show too. Um, and that's what I was hoping. I was hoping that Star Wars would do like Rangers, of the Galaxy or something. Um, and oh, Daryl, what a mug on that mug. Oh, that's so cute. Oh man. Uh, and Sin Havoc says, fun stream, everyone. Thanks to Retro Nerd Girl. Cool. Oh, thank you, Sin Havoc. You're so awesome. I just want to thank you for always putting such a wonderful, cool vibes out there. Every show you're just bringing the positivity to the stream. Thank you so much. And Daryl Johnson says, it's perfect. Maybe a few spaceships. Ooh, I like that idea. I like that idea. Well, I'll see if I'll make like a spaceship, maybe a flying saucer or something. We'll see. We'll see. I could draw it. I think so. And that's right, Jay. Uh, got to running. Got to got to running. Thank you so much for a wonderful day. Oh, thank you. Thank you for being here. I'm so glad to share this time with you and the great conversation about Star Trek. Uh, I must make a Star Trek just stream one day and just talk at nauseum about Star Trek and what's right and what's wrong. Maybe I'll catch up by watching one of the shows. That might be a thing. And Sin Havoc says, it's a cool cup, perfect size. Isn't it the right size? Um, and the Keithy says the bigger cup of coffee, the better. I guess so, yeah. I mean, it's pretty big. There's a lot of coffee in there. But I better let you guys get the rest of your day going. 3 hours, that's a lot. Um, so I am going to do this thing. Uh, oh my technology. Okay. I'm gonna do this thing where I'll play my outro video for you. Where you can leave a message for me. Tell me what your favorite cartoons were, or any obscure cartoons that you think might not be on my list. Well, that's a good one. Um, any messages that you might want to leave me. Any messages you might want to leave a friend of yours on the streams, and any friends that you made. And also, I just want to wish you a fabulous day. Thank you for spending your time with me. And I will, without further ado, I bid you adieu. And see you in the next video.
Retro Nerd Girl, you are clear for takeoff.